Welcome attendees. Our virtual roundtable for volunteers on membership will now begin. This is Natalie Gozzard. I'm the Chapter Services Manager here at SMPS. Have a few housekeeping things to cover before we get started. We encourage your questions. So if you have any questions or comments, just know that your lines are currently muted. We encourage your questions, so please raise your hand through the raised hand icon located on your screen, and we will take your question. And if you have something to share, you can also raise your hand and I can unmute you. So we're going to stop about halfway through to the end of this program to take questions, and then we're going to stop again. We'll take some questions at the end. So again, please feel free to push your questions to us through the question box as we go. So volunteers, thank you all so much for joining us and for all that you do to serve the society and your chapters. Spring is always an exciting time for us here at SMPS with all the chapter events that we know are taking place. So we thought this was an ideal time to check in with you all and ensure you're all in the know on all things membership, member types, how and where to extract your chapter member data, and all the assistance that the SMPS membership team can provide you. I'm joined today by SMPS Vice President of Membership and Chapter Services, Mary Cruz, and Julio Santos. Julio is our Membership and Chapter Services Coordinator. So Julio, I'm going to kick the program over to you. Would you like to kick things off with a review of our member types?
For sure. Thank you, Nat. And a huge thank you to the membership chairs for all your work. As Natalie mentioned, my name is Julio Santos, Membership and Chapter Services Coordinator here at SMPS. And today we'll talk about member types. These member types and a ton of other helpful information can be found in the chapter manuals, which you can find in the All Chapter Leaders community in My SMPS. And of course, we hope you've already taken a look and reviewed that over a few times. There are a few member types that I get questions about all the time. First and foremost, do you know what a transfer is? Some members don't, and some members don't know that they have the ability to do so. A transfer membership is essentially one membership becoming two. We allow this so a firm can use the membership they paid for the whole term they paid for. This helps them avoid our $50 origination fee, which of course new members have to pay for, and they avoid that for the newer member. The original expiration date is inherited by the new member. Now, if the original member is still with the firm, then we cancel the original membership. Since a firm essentially can't have two memberships under one payment, so that seems fair, right? The second question I get a lot, basically, I was a member in 1999. Do I have to rejoin? The answer is no. If you are a member of SMPS at any time, you can reinstate your membership. The former member just has to log in, and the first thing they'll see on the SMPS website is an option to reinstate. This also helps them avoid the $50 origination fee that I mentioned before. If they don't have their login information, they can request a password reset online, or they can reach out to me, Natalie, Mary, basically anyone on staff, and they'll be able to help them out. And do you also know that we have different member options other than a regular member? We have student dues, which are $25. We have retired member dues, which are $30. And both student and retired members are not eligible to vote or serve on an SMPS board. It's of course important to know these definitions by heart, so when you pull your chapter reports, you know exactly what you're looking at. And now I'll turn it over to Mary so she could show you how to pull those chapter reports I just mentioned.
Great, thank you, Julio. First, I just want to make sure you're aware, if you have not visited the online chapter report site, we have a extranet at www.smps.org/extranet. It's right there on the screen. Make sure the next time you visit that you save that as a favorite. As a membership chair, you'll be visiting this, this area quite often, hopefully at least once a week, to take a look at your live member data. You can also access the extranet once you've got logged into your profile on the SMPS website. From there, from right within your profile, off to the right, you'll see a nice menu, and there'll be SMPS Extranet there as well. So make sure you visit. There are designated chapter leaders that have access to the Extranet. Each year at the beginning of a program year, our team goes in and goes ahead and gives access to the membership chair, the president, and the president-elect. Those three positions automatically have access at the beginning of every program year. Each chapter can have up to 5 with access, and you just need to let us know in an email, and we'll make sure we take care of that for you. The online chapter reports extranet is where designated chapter leaders can access its live member data. So I'm just going to pull it up real quick so you can take a look at what this looks like. So I've logged in as me, and over to the left here are the different reports that you can dive into. Most chapters just go straight to their roster. If you want to know at any given time, again, this is live data, so if a member was to join today, as soon as that membership is processed in our database, it will show up on your report here. So I'm just going to click real quickly on, oh, it's asking me to log back in, one moment. Okay, so I'm just going to show you real quick new members for the Boston chapter. I have access to all the chapters as admin, but you should just see your chapter pop up for the month of March. And real quickly, within a few moments here, we're looking at the Boston chapters. These are new and transferred members because they're could be new to the society. Transfer is either a new or could be a returning member, but they will show up on this report. And we see down at the bottom, anytime you're on your roster or any one of the Extranet reports, there's a total down at the bottom here. And quickly, you can just export straight into Excel. You export your information right into Excel, and then you can sort it, reach out to those new members right away. The point of having this information in live data and easily accessible for you is so that you can quickly, early on, reach out to your new members. We have an email alert that goes out as well right after a new member joins. Also, members that are dropping. So if you go back and take a look at the expiring members report, we have dropped this month, so you want to go reach out to members that just recently dropped to encourage them to reinstate. Again, the Extranet is where you'll find all of your live data. So if you have any questions about the Extranet, having access to it, please don't hesitate to call myself, Mary Cruz, or any one of the team members here. Now I'm going to turn it back over to Julio to talk to a little bit with you about our fulfillment efforts.
Thank you, Mary. SMPS has quite an extensive membership retention effort, and it really starts from the moment a member signs up. And by the way, you could find our fulfillment effort laid out in detail in our chapter manual, which again is you can find in the All Chapter Leaders community at My SMPS. I'll go over a few key points with you today. When a member joins, they receive a welcome email directly from headquarters with their login credentials, some helpful links, some helpful information. They also receive a welcome packet via USPS within about 2 weeks or so. We then check in with each and every new member within, well, every 3 months to see how their experience is going, see if they have any concerns, any comments, anything we can really use to our advantage to see if anything's lacking that they feel is in their experience. And then 60 and 30 days before members' expiration date, we send invoices through email and also through snail mail, and we send that straight from our headquarters here in-house. 10 days before a member drops, and this is actually really great. This is something that sets us apart from other associations that I know of. Staff gives an actual call to check in on their renewal status to see if they need any help renewing, or to check on the reasons they're not renewing or not renewed up until that point. And this is a nice personal touch that we're really proud of. And we always get great feedback from these calls. And most of the time, we actually do get a few renewals over the phone, so that's always great. After a membership drops, an exit survey is sent to the member. We then use this data to evaluate and improve our procedures on a headquarters level. And we also share the surveys with chapters if needed. And then also keep in mind that an expired member and a drop member are two different things. Someone's membership may be expiring, for example, tomorrow, March 31st, but they will not fully drop on, until May 31st. So it's roughly a 60-day grace period, and at that time, they'll be able to reinstate, as I mentioned before. And then after they finally do drop, we reach out about every 30, 60, 90 days after every drop, and try to get an effort to bring them back to SMPS. Chapter leaders are encouraged to also reach out to expiring members, which of course you can pull from the Extranet that Mary just showed you. A touch from the chapter level is always appreciated by us and also by the member themselves. But before we get to send them the packet, before we get to send our emails, before we get to make our calls, we have to recruit, right? Well, that starts on the chapter level, as you know. So Mary, could you talk to everyone about the recruitment assistance that we offer?
Absolutely. Thank you, Julio. So what's most important is looking at our prospective members, our list that we have in the database, the information that we receive from our chapters. We know that there are many non-members attending your events, prospective members. They may be active. They have been coming to programs for quite a while as a non-member. It's important that you share those lists with us as well. We reach out a couple of times a year, each quarter, to request those non-member lists so that we can help you and support. We're in this together. We're here to recruit together. I know there's a lot of grassworks onboarding and recruiting happening at the chapters, but we certainly are here to support that and make sure you have the collateral you need, as well as when we receive lists, we'll qualify them, we will input those into our database, and so we're both working off of a solid sustainable list. So that's first and foremost, making sure that you're managing your non-member list and every year taking a look at them, cleaning those up, and making sure they're up to date. So once you have that information, of course, we do as well, and from industry alliance programs that we attend and go to, we are always recruiting and looking at who's attending these programs and making sure that we're always updating our database as well. So with that, we'll reach out through mailing packets. We will have targeted prospect emails that, based on a person's title or even company, their primary function, we'll try to target those emails a little bit more so that we know specifically to connect the dots to those resources that those prospects might be enticed by. So one effort that we'll do from headquarters for each chapter, once per year, for each chapter we offer a recruitment mailing. So that may be in the form of a postcard, which tends to be most popular with our chapters. We've done since the beginning of September. We've printed, helped design, and mailed. I think close to 17 chapters have taken us up so far since September. And as we're going into the spring season, especially with the Derby in full force, we hope to have more of those campaigns happening. So certainly reach out to myself here at headquarters or Natalie Gozzard, and we'll go over that a little bit more with you. That information is also on the recruitment mailing offering, is in the membership, not directory, the manual that we've been talking about, sorry. So within the manual, you'll find all the information on the specs for the postcard. If it's not a mailing that you were interested in, we can certainly do we've done call campaigns, and we're open. So let us know what ideas you have, and we'll be happy to discuss that with you. Other resources as well, please go check out the My SMPS community of My SMPS community, all chapter leaders. You'll find a folder in there with sample postcards, marketing collateral if you're looking for ads, one-page flyers or brochures that you can print out. All of the marketing collateral is there as well. Striving for Excellence is another great resource for recruiting. There's great ideas in the Striving for Excellence. That's our chapter awards program. We have winning chapter awards every year, and there's great information and ideas on recruitment. So make sure you check those out as well. And I'm just going to go through quickly to tie it all together here, the rest of the membership resources and tools. We've talked to the manual quite a bit. We can send that out. We usually send it out at the beginning of every program year to the membership chairs. I know that your presidents have that as well, and it's in the community. There's a chapter manual for every job that typically takes place at the chapter, whether it's a treasurer, membership chair, programs chair. So please make sure to read those. There's great information there. Can't emphasize enough, if you haven't been to the All Chapter Leaders community, to make sure you dive in there today. If you have any problem accessing it, let us know, because there's hundreds of resources. There's sample postcards you can look at. Again, the collateral. This will all help you in your efforts as you recruit and retain members. Remember to check your reports. Go onto the Extranet. That's just a friendly reminder that that live data is there in real time. And we also make sure that you're receiving emails after a new member joins. So you, right out of the gate, you have that information. I just want to touch a little bit on our Striving for Excellence. It's a chapter awards program. We have the Striving for Excellence, and we also have the Chapter President of the Year. These are two great award programs where chapters are recognized for all of their efforts. There's criteria that is in place. We recommend that you visit this as well in the My Chapter, All Chapter Leaders community. You'll find the criteria, which can help you, and as well as those award-winning submittals we talked about. campaigns. Each year we have campaigns. In the spring we have the Derby that kicks off. We've already got that in full force. The horses are rounding the second lap, and we'll have totals for you. The new tote board coming out this Friday, so we're excited to see where all the chapters are. And we received, as in order for chapters to even participate in the Derby, one of the requirements was that they submit a strategy summary, so a summary on their recruitment and retention strategies for the year, campaigns that they may already have ongoing, and what they're looking to do new. So we were very excited to receive 41 of those from the chapters. And one in particular, I see that Megan Ryan from SMPS Maryland is on the call, and they had a great strategy for the year. So Megan, if you don't mind, I'm going to unmute you if you don't mind sharing a little bit on that.
Hey, this is Megan from Maryland. How are you?
Great. Thank you, Megan, for joining us.
I am happy to talk about our retention and recruitment efforts in relation to the Derby. For retention specifically, the membership committee, we reach out to members by email every 60 days before their expiration, 30 days before their expiration, and immediately after, just to have a touch point, just so we can get feedback as to why they're not rejoining, or just to remind them to join. So that's one of our big retention campaigns, like Mary and Natalie were saying, and Julio, I think, mentioned it too. Saying earlier, we find that our members respond more quickly to a personal contact from someone on the membership committee rather than the HQ collateral pieces and email blasts that are coming out. So we do that a lot, and we use social media to engage members too, to remind them to renew, and we do member spotlights every month and sponsorship spotlights, which gives our new members some attention, and we use that to introduce them to our organization as a whole. For recruitment for the Derby this year, we looked at all of our non-member lists from all of our events and picked some people out who have been to multiple events as a non-member and reached out to them personally to recruit them to be a member. So we're working through that right now as part of the Derby, so I will report on our findings at the end, I guess.
That's great, Megan. And I know that you have a new member orientation, and I know a lot of times the chapters will have those usually as breakfast, standalone program. And I noticed in your summary that your chapter tries to have them right before, usually in the evening before a program or an afternoon program or a networking event. So it's in the same location, you have the orientation, and then they kind of can go right into an event where they can start networking. So I thought that was something different that I've seen, that I saw in your summary.
Yeah, we like that because we make connections between the new members right before the event. So when you're entering a new organization, a lot of times it's a little overwhelming because a lot of people know a lot of people already. So we try to at least connect the new members going into those events so they can have connections immediately and then go into the event and make more connections.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us. We are actually going to open it up for questions now. And Megan, you may get a question as well, so we'll keep you unmuted just in case any of the attendees have questions for you. So Natalie, do we have any questions or hand raised at this time?
Sure, we do. We have a couple of questions, and I can certainly answer these, but I'm going to pass them back out to you and Julio for the time. So Julio, this one's going to you regarding transferred members. Can a membership be transferred if it has already expired?
Yes, that's actually a great question and a common question. An expired membership can be transferred as long as they're within their 60-day grace period. So this, again, goes back to the differences between an expired member and a dropped member. An expired member, for example, could be March 31st. Their actual drop date is May 31st. So within those 60 days, a membership can be transferred, yes.
Great. And let's see, we have another question along that same vein. What happens to a member when their membership is transferred to someone else?
That's a good question. That person is just like any other member. They don't really skip a beat. They get the same benefits that they had before. Nothing really changes for them. Their invoice doesn't change. Nothing changes. They're still able to renew when their time is up.
Great, thank you. Question, let's push this out to Mary. Mary, going back to the Extranet, is the data that folks can pull from the Extranet, is that data, is it live or static?
That's good question, Natalie. Actually, it's our Extranet is directly mapped to our membership database, so that is live data. So if a member was to join today, we just hit process within our database, they will show up on that report. So if members go online to their profile and they make a change to their email or to their company name, contact information, that will be reflected in the reports immediately within the chapter roster. So it's a good idea to jump in there and, again, take a look at your data as often as you can because that is live data there for you.
Great. And who, I believe you did mention this, Mary, but can you remind us all again which volunteers have access to the Extranet?
Sure. At the beginning of every program year, and our year starts September 1, so when your officers take office, usually about mid-August we'll do that because we'll have, by that point, we'll have all of the new chapter boards in place and on our database, and we'll go ahead as the transition's happening from your membership chairs rolling off to those coming on. We know that there's some succession planning and training that goes on, so we will go ahead and both will have access for a period of time, the outgoing membership chairs, presidents, and past presidents. So once the new year kicks off, it will just be those active, those in office for the membership chair position, the president, and the president-elect. Again, you can have, we'd like to keep it limited to 5 per chapter, just because the member data is sensitive and we want to make sure there's not too many hands in the pot with access to all of the member data. So we'll give up to 5. So if your chapter wants their secretary or treasurer for any reason also to have access, we'll go ahead and make that happen through our database, and they'll just use their login information to access. That's it.
Great, thanks, Mary. We have 2 questions that loop back to our fulfillment process here at headquarters. So, Julio, someone would like to know what comes in the new member packet.
Okay, the new member packet, what comes in there is there's a recent marketer magazine, a few pieces of membership collateral, basically outlining their membership benefits, some postcards for upcoming headquarters events, a letter from Mary, and their membership card. And that's all just put up into an envelope and sent out by us here at staff.
Good stuff. And do our renewing members get a packet also?
No, they do not. They receive their membership card in the mail just via letter. If they need a refresher of benefits we have, we can, of course, send separate collateral to them. They just have to reach out to me. So if you ever get those questions, membership chairs, of course, if you ever get questions regarding benefits or member packet, and if a renewing member wants that mailed out to them, just feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be able to send that out to them.
Great. Thank you, Julio. And attendees, just a reminder, if you do have some questions for either Mary or Julio, please feel free to submit them in the question box. I do see one question. I can push this over to Mary. Mary, we have a volunteer who's looking for ideas to engage senior members in the membership process.
Great question. You know, many chapters are always trying to bring back in those either senior members or principal members, those have been a member for a while, or are owners of a firm. How did we engage them? What are the things that would attract them? And those chapters that seem to have success with that have a great mentorship program in place. I know DC is one that has a guru guidance program. As soon as a member joins, they're enrolled into this guru guidance and paired up with a senior member for meeting at these programs, or just going to coffee, or maybe even just a monthly phone call to touch base with that new member. And I know the senior members really like that and giving back in that way. Natalie, I think there's another, you just mentioned, mentorship program another chapter has. Do you know what chapter is that? I think we were just talking about that not too long ago.
several of our chapters have
Yeah.
really, really wonderful mentorship programs. So New York chapter for sure.
There's a couple. So if you're interested in maybe not recreating the wheel and taking a look at those programs, just shoot us an email and we'll send you, connect you with those chapters that already have a program in place. Other options are focus groups. A lot of times the chapters like to, we've seen do well, they'll have a focus group maybe every quarter or just twice a year of those senior members and pull them in, and what are the resources, what are the programming that they really want, and how do you ask them exactly how should we engage you? What are those things that we can do? And Kansas City, I think, is a chapter that had recently had focus groups, as well as Charlotte chapter. So that you might want to reach out to them as well. And we have in the My SMPS community, the All Chapter Leaders community, there's a folder in there under membership or programs that has some interesting questions and how they've structured focus groups. So that's in there as well. And, I think sometimes engaging those senior members on helping them put together a program or provide assistance with a client panel. I know a lot of times the client panels are very successful, principal roundtables. So finding a way for that senior programming, that senior member programming, how can you engage them actually in the planning of it and outreach to the client panels? So those are just a few ways that I would suggest, but if you want to talk more about that, certainly reach out and we'll brainstorm together.
If I could add to that from Marilyn's perspective, we have a senior advisory council where I think it's members who have been with SMPS for 15 years or more or past presidents, and they have their own special program where they determine what they want to talk about, and they have roundtables, I think, quarterly every year, and it really engages those people who are way past figuring out how to do proposals and that sort of thing, and are in senior positions.
That's fantastic, Megan. Thank you.
And I always enjoy, reviewing the Striving for Excellence, the winning submittals, and actually all the submittals where the chapters really put their best faces. It's a wonderful place for them to showcase what they are doing to serve their members, and this is where you can find a lot of information on what other chapters are doing for mentorship and what they're doing to engage their senior level folks. So, find a chapter that's approximately your size, or a chapter that you have interest in, or it's close to you in proximity, and take a look at their submittal and see what they're doing. That's a great place to start as well. Any other questions at this time? Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions at this time, so we'll wrap it up. Thank you very much, Mary and Julio, for presenting today, and thank you all. Thank you so much to our volunteers, again, for all you're doing to serve the society and your chapters. Truly wonderful things are being done, and it is appreciated by all. Thank you so much. I want to encourage everyone to visit the All Chapter Leaders community of My SMPS. And if you have any questions or comments anytime, please feel free to reach out to your chapter services team, me, Natalie Gozzard, Mary Cruz, or Julio Santos. Thanks again for joining us today. This ends our program. Bye-bye.